first verse or the chorus? Chorus.
Okay.
Okay, now what's the next verse?
Oh, things yesterday. Just to play my worries away.
Are you looking at
No. Wrong things
Okay, everyone, we're live. It's October the 20th, the Friday. I'm excited to see you all here today. I have graded your homework, and it was marginally better. So pleased and proud. Okay, what I believe is that I think you could do even better without being any smarter. Okay, so let's try to do that. Let's try to be better. I'm handing back some old tests. I'm not sure how you didn't get that, but that's okay. Come on in.
No, we're good. We're good.
We're gonna.
We just were settling with that.
Doing that 5-1 thing today.
No.
On our
Alright, hey, whoever won better pay me.
The house gets 10%. Never forget that.
Which one won?
Dr. Duran, I'll have your coffee later for your tea.
He doesn't bring me drugs. We didn't bring enough for the entire class. Swim. You made me dizzy there, Greg.
I'm sorry.
No more of that. I think this is fairly personalized service walking around everybody. Hey. And is there a Kyle in the house?
Kyle?
Any Kyle present today?
Kyle.
Yay, all the papers have been given all right, I think I would like to address the final exercise real quickly, if you don't mind. I had a lot of people do this 5-6-5 of 6 to 6 in a bad way. So we will go over it quickly. And do take the time to figure out what you did wrong, okay? I try to write an X right where something happens, but among the things that could have happened on your paper is you resolved something incorrectly. What's the number one thing you can resolve incorrectly is the 5-7 in any of its inversions. So that also holds true for 5 of any other chord too, secondary dominants. Secondary 7th chords are the next thing, or 7th chords in general, 7-7 chords. You have to resolve those real particularly. Okay, let's have a review. What have I just talked about? One thing that could be wrong is that you have resolved a 5-7 chord wrong. And I'll include with that its substitution of 7 or 7-7 chord. Okay, that's wrong. Next thing would be, what do you think? It's melodic, which is, you've written a melodic augmented second. Do we understand what that is? Do you understand what an augmented interval is? What are our main augmented intervals? Augmented second and augmented fourth. How could you get yourself out of an augmented fourth situation is go the other direction. That's a diminished fifth. If you write a diminished fifth, it should then resolve back inward, shouldn't it? Do you know what I mean by that? If you pretend to like you had this note and it needed to go to an E in this key, all right? The next note would be that in generally just about every circumstance. Although there was one circumstance on this homework that would not have quite done that. I may not have taken off for that. Okay, I'm rambling. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Okay. One point on this homework paper, I sometimes let people, or maybe that was in the junior theory class. I take it all back. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so augmented seconds occur when? Mainly 4 to 5 in the minor mode. Are you with me there? What if you had this, let's put this into the minor mode. D minor, D minor, D minor. So, the third of a 4 chord is a B flat. The raised 7th of a 5 chord is C sharp. That's an augmented second, isn't it? Now if B flat is in the key signature, maybe it's just not apparent. Well, you have to be able to read music, all right? If you miss the B flat when you're playing the sarrusophone or the saxophone or whatever you play, that would sound terrible, wouldn't it? Why is it like, why would you be excused for doing that in theory? Huh? Huh? Getting a little aggressive. I so like that about me. From pleasant to unpleasant in a flash. Let's just do our work. Stop. Okay, what is another way you could make better grades on your test without being any smarter? Let me suggest that you read the directions, okay? If you didn't label a 6/4 chord on the page, you missed 8 points. That's not good, okay? Because they counted 2 points apiece. That's what I'm saying. All right. Now, I'm hoping that this just goes past the 6/4 to you. I mean, it's just like that. You know that that's passing 6/4, right? And you know what it does. It does this, I swear it does. So I think mainly most of us can do that now, right? You see that, you automatically do that. Okay? Can we say that we know how to do this now? Can we? Now we have a couple things we can do here. This is a fully demented 7th chord, isn't it? It is, I believe. Okay, so there's that, don't you think? It's not fully diminished. What am I saying? I am sorry. I apologize. What is that chord? It's half diminished. Let's think of a suitable punishment. Okay? And I'll enact it later. I think I could go to the driving range and slam my 5-iron into the turf instead of hitting the ball. Would that be okay? Would that work for you?
Sure.
Sometimes I think I should just take dimes and throw them down the driving range. It would be the same as some of my practice shots. There you go. And then they have the little machine that drives around picking up all the dimes. Oh, yes. All right. What are we going to do first? Same thing as always. That, right? Everybody knew that, right? Yes? Okay. So what's this gonna do? Dun, 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 dun. What does it do? What do we have there? What is the other interval? A what?
Chordal 7.
A what?
Chordal 7.
I'm not familiar with that.
It's just the 7th of the chord.
No, I'm saying if we're resolving a diminished or 7/7 chord, first thing we do is resolve tritone with the bass. Second thing we do is resolve any other tritone, which there isn't one, right?
Right.
What is there? Perfect fourths. What are perfect fourths allowed to do? Pretty much anything, right? Today, they're gonna choose to dance. Okay, so what? Probably I would do that first. Other option is to double the A, and the doubling the A is quite all right too. What was the consensus here? How many of you had A's? 0 A's, 1 A, 0 A's, 1 A. So that means you did what? Respelled this chord to B flat up here, or? Would you rather do that? Let's finish up what we're doing. Fine. Then that would be this, right? That's very simple. Now what is the next configuration? Is a 6/5. Let me get the rest of this written down, sorry. Pass that back, will you, please? Okay, now, this is 5/6/5 of 5, right? Everybody good with that? Okay, we're getting to the good part, so don't worry. Now, there could be various things, but at first glance, I would probably do that. I do believe some of you probably revoiced that too, yes? But let's continue. I don't think a revoicing would be that big of a deal. It is my belief that the 7th should be approached obliquely when possible. So that's the first choice. then you can make another choice, and that might be correct too. We may decide to change this by what happens later. Sometimes you may have found, many students have found, that sometimes they write several chords and then they have to erase them all and then go back and change the voicing and try it that way. Have any of you ever experienced something like that? Did you feel changed after the experience? All right, so herein is that answer. Is everybody good with that? Do we all kind of understand this much so far? Yes? Okay. Now, if 5 went to 6, I believe you should double the tonic. But what happens when the scale degree 6 is what is being tonicized? What would you double then? Let me try that again first. When you have secondary function, when you have 5 of 6, as this is the case here, is that the case? 5 of 6. The tonicization is of 6, the D, right? So therein, D, what note would you double? The tonic or okay, I'm lobbing softballs. Shall I just roll them to you? Would that help? What note will be doubled?
The D.
The D. That's correct. Correct. The D. Okay, if this chord went to this chord, I would double F right there. But since the C sharp intervenes, I've got to double that note. I am doing this whole lecture for Bailey, all right? Do we understand that? But other people had the same issue. And I believe they felt like the tonic is what you double in the 6th chord. This is true when it's the object of deception. It is not true when it's the object of tonification. Tonic, making it the tonic. Tonicization. Dang, that was hard. Okay, so here I'm gonna do this, right? Everybody following along here? Yes? And next is we play our little song, 7 to 1, 2 to 1, 5 to 5, and 4 to 3. Okay? Does everybody understand that? To that note. Wait, did I say that wrong? I probably did. 7 to 1. 2 to 1. 5 to 5 and 4 to 3. Did that make more sense? Being correct. Did the correct version make more sense? Did you understand tonicization? We have locally tonicized the note D. Bailey, you got it? Okay. Anybody else do that under the pretense of being correct? I think there were several that did. And I like your thought process. It's just the wrong answer. Now, in some questions, sometimes you would literally see what you saw done, which was double the F. Now, how would I even double that F? Would this E go to that F there? So, two F's, a D, and an A, that would be regular kind of deception. Would that be the deception that you get from here to here? Is it? Is it? Is anyone paying attention? If I take this 5 chord and move it to this 6 chord, that would be deception, yes? Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Yes, that's deception. So, it's not all that wrong, okay? If I were a different kind of person, I wouldn't have counted that wrong. But unfortunately, I'm not. Question?
Yeah, you don't have to double the D.
You do double the D. Okay, apparently, this is not the answer I wanted. Okay? This is not the answer I wanted. What I was explaining was, if this 5 chord, that one right there, moved to this 6 chord, that one right there, that would be deception. Okay? And my statement was, if I skip this chord, would that be the resolution of this deception? The answer is yes. So my other answer was, so this intervening chord is not that wrong to do this. It's not that wrong. But because we're working in basic voice leading patterns, that's going to be our answer today. Okay? Is that clear enough? Did we understand that? Because this is important to me. This is why I say mean things, is because I'm passionate about this. I really believe it's important for you to understand this. A. B, that you not make mistakes that you don't have to make out of ignorance. Many of you are not ignorant. Let me say that again. You are a bunch of bright, wonderful people, highly intelligent, talented, and fairly attractive bunch, really. You know, life's easier when you're that way. Okay. So, what I don't want you to do is make mistakes on things that you already know. So what would that be? What did you do on this paper that you didn't have to do? Was it not reading the directions? That's an easy one. 2, some kind of particular augmented interval. What to do about that is to check all the intervals against that issue. Can you understand that? Would you find an application of something like that in your practice of your instrument? Could you identify something that you know but you're not achieving and do something about it? Could you do that? Can you do it in music theory? Okay. Can you do it in your daily lifestyle practices? Your Sweating to the Oldies class. Can you do that better? Do you even know that reference? Sweating to Richard Simmons, Sweating to the Oldies? That's probably around when you were born or when you appeared on Earth. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how all that transpired. Any more, or did we even finish? No. Okay, now, this becomes 5 of 4, doesn't it? 5 of 4, 5, 7 of 4 is what chord? And when I say that, your mind, because of your training, should say that's an altered 1 chord. Okay? There is no 5 of 4 in the major mode. There is only 5, 7 of 4. Why? Because 5 of 4 would be the 1 chord, and I don't think we bear that distinction. Okay, so we've already almost got us an F, an A, and a C. That's kind of how class is going these days. Alright, so we all know what happens next, the B flat. And for those percussionists who are putting ledger lines under notes, stop it, okay? This is not how we write music, okay? Makes you look not brilliant. Stop it. Okay. Everybody agree that this would be what we got right here. Okay, now 164s. Oh goodness. You know, it's just gonna have to be that way. We're gonna go to C here,
Now C here.
G here, and E here. I'm thinking, oh, that's not even the right notes, is it? I'm thinking F here, A here, C here, C spot run, G, E, ledger lines, difficult. I'm not sure I saw anyone do this exactly. Okay? I really don't. But if you wanted to know how I would do it, that's how I would do it. And then I would regret where I started. I would have wished I had started an octave higher. This is the piano, it's not the singers. But I think when everything's said and done, even with the giant dominant chord there on the board, I think you could find something that you could really love and relate to. Because you're going to hear, oh yeah, passing 6/4 coming up. Ooh, how colorful. Well, I don't know. Maybe it really wasn't worth all the trouble. Maybe. Do you have any questions about what I've presented heretofore? Or up to now? Any other questions? Okay, here's a question for you. A week from Monday, some of us are going to Hoover, not including me. How many of you are going? Okay, so we are still having class. Y'all will be expected to watch it on YouTube. That's the beauty of, that'll probably be the day that the video doesn't work. Okay. you will still be fined for it. Any other questions? Yes.
Are we gonna have homework due that day? And if we do, when do you want us to turn it in?
I think later this afternoon. No, so being a smart aleck. It wasn't what's jumped in my head to start there, but let's decide next Monday. What do you say?
All right, that works for me.
Okay. We do have work due on Monday. We're all good with that?
Is it just the first page, like front
It's
page?
the front.
Okay.
Now, I would like for you to flip to the back, and that's what we're gonna work on now. See how like saved for us? But the thing is, do we really wanna save paper? The foundation that supports our institution mainly owns timberland, which is used for pulpwood and paper. So, from now on, one note per page. All right, support our great institution. I've been to that luncheon too. Picture of place. Jared, who else is lacking? Uh-oh. Getting less lacking. This is,
Supplement one.
really? I'm out. Keep looking.
Is that it?
Keep looking. I copied out like 24 of them and I only have about 12 students, so. Okay, the back page that says supplement 1 on it. I don't remember what. Wait. Is there a Christian here? Only one identifying. Okay. What were we doing? I no longer have a worksheet. I think that's why I didn't give you that one in the first place.
I can get it back.
Oh well, we'll survive. What are we doing? Who could do the last one right off the bat? What's it in, C major or C minor? The very last example, is it in C minor? Who can do, let's do this. Let's do that. Do the last line. Now, it has to be a sequence. We've been over this 3 times. Let's see how much you remember. This is what I want it to sound like. That's also in C minor. What was I doing?
Sequence.
Heck yeah. That's not right. I don't want it to sound like that. Not like that either. Go. Are you finished yet? I'm done. I'll do it again. Okay, I'm erasing the board. You can always catch it on the YouTubes. I think it's pretty special that our YouTube page represents it's USA Theory. Nobody else has that but us. So when people look up theory in the USA,
Oh.
that's me. I don't totally love going down a fifth, up a fourth, but I think it's okay. Okay, so the first thing we do is go down a fifth. Yes?
Yes.
Everything else sequence. Have we all got to this point yet? We got the first note.
I made it that far.
Yeah!
I mean, I wouldn't use it.
Dalton shaved, right?
Are you serious? He looks like John Candy.
No, I think it's great. As I learned when I was a vacuum cleaner salesman, if you don't shave every day, you're a bum. So, for all you bums out there.
Cool.
Yep.
Not shaving.
Okay. This is not right. People,
That's not right.
people in
Who's talking about using
Uzbekistan think when they see USA Theory and I write that kind of business. Okay, we all good there? Alright? What's the next note? The bass. B flat. Okay, this is where the big sequence occurs, right? Now, if you can do that much, seems like you could do the whole thing, doesn't it? What's the next note?
an E flat.
Heck yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, dude.
Look at that. What's the next note?
An A flat.
It is for apple, shiny and bright.
He's asking. What do you mean?
You know, you hear a lot these days about, like, what do you people call millennials?
Yeah.
But all of my children are millennials, and all of my nieces and nephews are millennials. They are brilliant and talented and really well adjusted people. So I don't know what people are saying about millennials. They're running the world. You guys are running the world.
Right.
We want to buy stock accordingly too. We do. There's money to be made. So instead of buying that
Boston Dunkin' Donuts, kid.
extra Starbucks today, invest in a millennial company. Okay, do we have other notes here? Perhaps. Here is our diminished fifth. And now, there is our I have a niece who works for Google, and I saw her the other day at a wedding. But the last time I saw her was in Michigan, and we were with her family and some of my family. And she said she was going for a jog. Guess how far she went? 21 miles. This was while she was like visiting for her sister's high school graduation. This girl, this is a funny story. Ha ha, I know you can't wait. They came down to visit when my baby son was a senior and trying to take the ACT for the last time to make that next point. Maybe it was he was trying to get a 34, I think. I think that's what he was trying to do. He had a 33 every time. He was trying to get 34. And so the three sisters and family come down to visit us, and they're going to take a cruise when the cruise used to let out of here. And they got their ACT scores on the same day, but she was a junior taking it for the first time, right? You following along with the story? My son, 3 or 4 times in, senior. She's a junior. First time. She looks up hers online or whatever she did, and she looks at my son and goes, "I got a 36, is that good?"
Oh.
My son's completely deflated. She was also the concert master of her orchestra and the valedictorian of her school, and she was asked to give the speech, and she chose to play a solo violin piece for her valedictorian speech.
That's so cool.
That's, wow.
I know.
I didn't know it was an option. Wow.
She did other things too, but I'm not even going to mention that because that's piling on. Okay, you want to, now you can see and now you can hear. Okay, ready? Oh, wrong note. I apologize. Sorry, my sequence fell apart there. Little augmented second action there at the end. Super dumb, sorry. Now what I would suggest, and I think this would be super fun for you, there's these things, they're along this hall, and you turn into them and open them up, and there's rooms, and they have pianos in them.
One of those.
And people can, and if you're in there, people can actually see you practicing. It's like, wow, that guy or gal is practicing. It's, you know, it kind of sounds like he or she is playing a sequence of descending fifths in the minor mode. That's what it kind of sounded like to me. Any questions about that little bit of supplemental education? Okay, in our remaining, and I'm sad about this, that we only have 3 more minutes remaining this week. Let us look at the first line and pick the easiest one on there. Which one is the easiest as determined by you? I'm pointing to you. Which one? Which key? The third one, 5, 7, and 5 in the key of C minor. Do that one. And let's up the ante. Okay? Today is the drop day. Solve it or drop. I'm serious. If you can't do this, you've missed. I think one of your professors maybe mentioned the other day that you wouldn't have passed if I was teaching 113. I don't think that's true. I really don't believe that. It was I was having a seizure at the time. It wasn't really me. Okay, are any notes given on this 5, 7, and 5? Okay, I'll tell you what. You know, I'm not going to resolve it 8 ways. I could. You know I could, right? I could resolve this 8 ways. That's how many ways you can resolve it in a basic Western pattern.